Well, there was some good, some bad. I think when a team starts out hitting 6 of its first 8 threes, and most of them were their big guys, I said we don't guard very well with certain people, and proved its point tonight. I thought we were like two teams. We were a great women's basketball team in Iowa. We were 30 years ago. We had offensive players at one end, and we had defensive players at a different point. And we got to get more guys that can do both. Everybody want to know about Miles. I mean, it's a sprain. Thank God it's not a high ankle sprain. It's just a sprain where he rolled it. It'll be day to day, but it is not a high ankle, which is encouraging. I thought the two guys that might have played the best tonight were definitely Xavier Tillman. Showed a lot. The old adage, tough people. He's a tough kid. Did his job. Guarded the way he's supposed to guard, rolled to the basket. And he played on the scout team all week, so he really learned while doing it, which is sometimes better. Made his free throws, gets 5 rebounds. Really, really, really pleased with him. But Josh Langford was the best player on the court as far as a guy that did things on both ends. Miles was actually playing pretty good defense too, till he got hurt. We got a lot out of Tom. He got us going, and of course, Cassius hit some shots, but it was early. When we give up those kind of threes early in a game, it's almost unexcusable. And maybe the biggest thing that happened in my mind was, I told you it's a team like Middle Tennessee, and last year we lost Kenny Goins, or 2 years ago, and we had to play Didi at the 4, and they killed us in that game. And of course, with Goins out, we thought Jaron would be a great matchup, and he just showed his rookiness a little bit, and not realizing, when you got 2 fouls, we put him back in. We told him no matter what, don't do this and don't do that. But it's hard for a freshman, and he did. And then the last one, just happened. So he really didn't even play, because he was in the game 14 minutes, but about 8 of those minutes he was playing not to foul and not to play. So all in all, I know it'll sound stupid to an 0-4 team. I watched them all but beat UConn and give Maryland a good game. So it's not like it's a bad team. It's a team that gives us trouble because we have a couple bigs that can't guard right now, and that's got to change. But we won't run into many teams that have a 4 and 5 that are three-point shooters either, the best three-point shooters. Yep.
You wanted Joshua to be more aggressive, look for a shot a little bit more, especially early when you guys weren't hitting, he kind of was doing. Is that what you want to see out of him mentality-wise?
Yeah, I was really, really pleased with Josh, and, Miles tried the happy medium. He took some things in there too, and got some boards. Josh got 2 offensive boards early. Josh defended better. That's the Josh Langford I think there is, and some of it is him and some of it is us. We got to do a better job. And but I was really happy for him because he let the game come to him. He didn't force things. He let it come to him. He looked so comfortable today. I thought it was the first day that he looked really comfortable on both ends of the court.
You obviously know Jeff from years in this conference. What do you think of him as a head coach? What do you think of the team?
Honestly, when I watched these games against UConn and Maryland, I thought he did a hell of a job. I do know Jeff well, and I think he's got a nice team. I don't know what his league is like, but he runs some great stuff. They're pretty good defensively. I mean, we shot the ball really well because at times, I think we wore them down inside a little bit. We had a lot of subs, even though some of them didn't play well. And those guys, they don't have as much depth in there, so they got to play a little like Jaron did. But I think, he's going to be a hell of a head coach. His team played hard. His team ran their stuff really well. And I thought they were pretty solid defensively. And he's playing a brutal schedule, 3 of the 4 teams. And then you kind of go and maybe lose a game that I think they could have, should have won. But he's got a chance to, get that thing going out there like Steve did. I mean, I think it's a great, whatever level program you want. I don't want to insult it. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to say it's probably below the BCS level, but a very good. I think he could have a very good team in that conference. Who's picked to win that conference? God, you're at, huh? That's what I mean. You should know who's picked to win that. Stony Brook. I didn't do a good job today either, so you're in good shape.
You mentioned the bigs that aren't guarding right now. I guess what's the trade-off right now with Nick? And he's scoring as well as he is at one end, but defending.
Well, I saw a great commercial today. It'd be good for Rico. No insult intended, but it was not a commercial. It was a thing about the Saints when they showed a big block of cheese. You know, if you eat too much cheese, you're going to get caught by the traps. You know, and the cheese was you guys. You know, I mean, fans, media, they all think the 20 points is great. And it's not. Last year, he scored a lot of points, and we won 20 games. Around here, that's not good enough. So there were some assignments that he missed that I'm upset about, and I'm going to be, because he did a hell of a job yesterday and a hell of a job in the walkthrough, which means he's got to learn how to focus in the game. Now, if he plays any kind of defense and scores 20 and gets 10 rebounds, now we got ourselves a hell of a player. If not, then we got ourselves a good player who will do the job, but can't hide a big guy. You know, you just can't hide him down there if there's a decent guy that's playing against him. So I'm a little concerned that he thinks, you know, when you look at the stats, you say, wow. When I look at the game film, I say, oh, no. And we got a couple guys that are in that boat that have to change. I thought Cassius was better the second half, but when there's two in there, sometimes it's difficult. Well, we're trying to change bad habits. We're already past the bad habit. We already know there's bad habits. We're trying to get those habits better habits, and that's what we tried to do tonight. And then we put them back second half. We went over at halftime, a couple of switches on the top, and we just didn't do it the second half. So, you know, the focus thing is the biggest thing. Focus is usually caused by distractions. Distractions are usually caused by not being able to sustain anything, and Twitter. And those two things screw up the commercial, got my commercial in. They screw things up. And, you know, I was so pleased with Nick last night and this morning in his focus, and then we get in front of people, and it changed. I mean, we made mental mistakes that we shouldn't have made.
Tom, with Miles, you said it's not a high ankle. Is it one of those things where it's going to take to see how it is tomorrow to know?
Yeah, I mean, they say 24 to 48 hours is usually what you know more on a sprained ankle, you know. Swelled up a little bit, but then it didn't swell up much more. And when I saw him after, they just kept him in so they could put ice on it right away. But, you know, I'd say by, you know, Tuesday morning, I'll know a little bit more, maybe tomorrow. But Miles is tough enough to play through it, but we're not going to take any chances either. We're going to have to see where it's at.
Tom, well, two things. One, Vermont is favored in the America East, according to this magazine right here. So
that's a Michigan State writer there.
If all things with Cassius's game that you're not happy with go well, the pull-up threes that he adds, that dimension, could that be something that really puts defenses on their heels? I mean, that seems to be a real weapon.
I told you for 3 weeks, the best shooter on my team right now, the best pure shooter is Cassius Winston. That's why, you know, I'd like to see him even pull up more, pull up at the free throw line, pull up instead of taking it way in there and getting caught. But Cassius is very, very, very good offensively, you know, and And he knows it. He knows what he did the first half. And I mean, what I liked is a couple times he vowed, put me back in. I'm not doing that again. So that's good. That's a good change, and I think he'll come around. And I'll be honest with you, we played him and Tom together a little more too, and because that gets him at the 2 a little bit, where he can do some things and score some points a little easier than it is at the point sometimes. So yeah, best shooter we got right now.
In that early sequence when you put X in, he got those 2 quick blocks. I mean, it seemed like it was one of those points that energized him. But was it something that you'd seen for a while with him, this coming?
He's a unique kid, He's another kid we talked about redshirting, but we weren't sure what we could get out. And in fairness, I've tried to tell you that the Gavin and I think I started becoming a fan, thinking they could do more than they could do yet. I mean, Ben is not in the shape he needs to be in, and so we're a little skeptical there on how much we play him. But there's no question that that Gavin isn't the same right now either. And what X does is he's just a kind of an old school guy, man. He just wants to set screens, hit bodies. I mean, our guys don't even know Al Anaganya, but Al was up this summer, and they started talking about all the stories, how many people he maimed during a season. And so now they're all calling X Al, because he has the same mentality, So I'm hoping that that helps us, because right now we need some help. And like I said, I mean, Jaron didn't play in this game. I mean, he played 12 minutes or something, but other than about the first 5, he was out of it with the foul trouble he was in. So, that's another reason. That's a tough team to play if your bigs aren't playing well and they're shooting it like they did.
Coach, your sophomore class scored 74 of the 93 points today. Are they where they need to be on the offensive end, or there's still work to do?
Well, Cassius, Nick, and Miles isn't quite where he needs to be, but he's making progress, and Josh is, we're not going to say one game and we're going to feel good about it, but are they making progress? Yeah. What I liked is Josh has made some progress defensively, and we got to get some other guys making that same progress. I mean, we held another team. I mean, it should have been 39. They hit that last shot, made it 40%. But we're holding teams, under 40, which is decent, but it's not great. We out-rebounded them, by, 15, 16. That's decent for us. It's not great. But then again, we didn't have Miles in there for at least 10 more minutes. We didn't have Jaron gets 4 in really about the first 6 minutes, and then doesn't get many after that. So considering what we played with, I think we probably did a better job than I give us credit for. I just can't figure out how we could go over and over and over what they're going to do on these cross screens with 2 bigs. All we're doing is switching them, and we were in the fog a little bit on that. So I guess we're going to have to I'm going to have to get on my assistants and myself, because we're going to have to do that more and more and more and more. Anything else? Thanks, guys.